Alright, welcome back everybody, and welcome to Star Citizen. So in this video, I want to go over the absolute basics of getting started in Star Citizen. If you have just recently picked up the game and you're anything like me, getting started in this game is very, very complex. This is a very in-depth, immersive, it's a very immersive type game. There's a lot of things that you can do. There's so many controls. There's just a crap ton of things that you need to know about this game. And they don't really tell you anything about it when you first start. I mean, there's some tutorials stuff, some little key hints and tips and tricks, but it was a very difficult start for myself. And what I thought it would be nice to do is to kind of help anybody else that is getting started in this game for the first time. The most simple fundamentals of just moving around, flying a ship, maybe even a couple good little tips on where to start to make your first start in this game a little bit more enjoyable. When you first load up, you're going to get met with this menu. You have your persistent universe, your star marine, and your arena commander. These are like kind of like little mini games. So things you can go do if you want to just be a shooter and go do kind of like a Call of Duty type game. You can play that. Arena commander, that's going to be your dogfighting, your your spaceship fights and all that. Your persistent universe, this is the game. So what we'll do is we will go into persistent universe. Now when you first start, it'll give you an option here, like, what system do you want to start in? There's only one right now, so you just start in that system. I cannot remember the name of it off the top of my head, but there's only one to pick. And then it'll ask you for a location that you want to start. My advice is to start with Microtech, with a New Babbage. This is where Microtech is held. It's a much easier place to leave the atmosphere, to fly around. Certain challenges are a lot easier on Microtech. And this port, Tressler, is a really nice port to kind of hang out with. But I would start there. That's just a recommendation. And then server location, your best server. When you get started, you'll also get met with the character creation. I saw a few videos of people getting started. This seemed a little confusing. I'll do my best to kind of clear this up on, the easiest way to work about this. When you first start, you'll start with the gender. And then you get your starting head, like who do you want to start out with as a base, whatever type of character that you're working with. We'll start with this individual right here. And then you go into whole head and you'll see, you've got this whole head and then this person here too. So if we go back to here, we'll go, this is the whole head, we'll go blending. And then the whole head, let's say, now you're just looking at the overall shape and skin. So let's say, I like this one, but I want to blend a little bit of this guy in here. So you have the slider and you can go from this person to that person. And then maybe you could kind of mix in the middle and say, I actually prefer this guy's skin tone versus the other guy. So I'll use that one. And then same thing, you can blend the whole overall head. Let's go here. And now we can go into the next one, the brows. So let's pick a different person and say, I like this person's eyebrows. And you can slide and adjust it, and you see it makes a little bit of difference on the person next to us. And then we'll go for eyes. You can change your eye color up here. And let's go with maybe a blue. But I want, maybe I want this person's eye shape. Or a mix in between it. So we'll slide it and see what looks good. Alright, we'll go with that. We'll go for ears. I like this person's ears more. So let's adjust that and let's go... Actually, let's go down that direction. I like that. And cheeks. Let's say I want... let's go for this guy's cheeks. And we can slide and add that. And just kind of keep strolling through. So we like this guy's nose. We'll go that. I want this guy's lips. We'll go that. And I like, let's say this guy's jawline. Now if you want to twist and kind of rotate your character, left mouse button over here and you can slide it back and forth. And that's a good, easy way to see kind of what you're working on. So let's go with this guy's jaw. And yep, we'll go with that. Let's see, for crown, be the kind of the dome. Let's say I want, let's go with this guy. He's got an interesting looking crown. So we'll square him off a little bit. And then the hair. So you can change your hair color up here at the top. Find one that you want. Let's go for kind of gray. And then what style of hair? So you got all different styles that you can choose from. There's a few. I mean, there is a limited amount. You only have so much, of course. But you know, let's go for crazy hair. And let's go for that. All right, so we could say this is the character that we want. We would come down to review and hit accept, and then that would be our new character. Now you can come into the character editing at any time you want. So pretty quick and easy. We're just going to cancel, and we're going to keep the guy that I have. All right, so now let's get started in Star Citizen. All right, we are in Star Citizen. So when you first start off, you will usually be in some type of like habitat, like a little room. Think of it as like a little apartment or something like that. To get up, once when you're loaded in, just hit the Y button, or you can just hit W and hold W. That's kind of what I did. That got me up. So right off the bat, if you'll see that there's some text off to the left. This is going to be your chat window. You can hit enter to start typing. Hit enter again. That'll submit whatever you want to chat with. If you don't want to see that, just hit F12. That'll hide it off of your screen. Kind of help with the immersion and all that. Once when you're in, you can take a look around. Certain things you might be able to interact with, and if you want to interact with something, you just hold the F key. So you hold the F key, you can move around, and if there's something that you could interact with, it'll get highlighted. And in this room, there's really nothing except for the main door. So I do have this light, actually. I take it back. And click that. Turn off the light, and I can have a nice, you know, peaceful night's sleep. Come back. Left click on that. Turns the light on. Now the door, if we come up to it and hold F, you will see it highlights kind of open. Some of these will say like close, and then when you hit F, it'll still say open. That's fine. Just hit it. That'll open up the door. And now we have access into the area. So I am in Port Tressler. And in Port Tressler, it is pretty easy to get to where we want to go. Now if you, like, let's say spawn in New Babbage, if you want to get to, like, your ship, you have to take a few trains, and I'll probably put a video out a little bit later on how to get to those areas. But for now, we're just going to go over the absolute basics of basically, okay, how do I move, how do I control things, and how do I fly? So we have exited our little area. Now there are an option to go into different views. So if you hit the F4, you can change your view. So this is kind of our third person. And if we hit F4 again, this is like extra wide third person. And then F4 again, this takes us back into first person. So if you want to get into your inventory, you can hit the I key. And this is your inventory. So when you first start, you'll probably have some basic gear. I've been out doing some collecting and things, so I have some decent stuff, but you're going to have a few different things. This left side, this is going to be your personal. You're going to have a backpack, if you have a backpack, which is this guy back here. Otherwise, you'll have like core compartment things, so you could have, this is your core compartment. Think of it as like your chest piece would be your core compartment. If you have leg gear, and that leg gear has storage, it'll be down here as well. So this is where you'll have all of your storage, the things that will be kind of kept inside. You'll notice that I have things on the outside. These are, think of it as like external storage, things that don't pop up here, but you always have access to. So for like this gun right here, I could throw it over here into my personal storage. Into the local storage. Now, real quick, the local storage is storage of the area that you are currently at. So I'm in Port Tesler. As you can see here, Port Tesler has its own local storage that only I can see and I can grab. And it's basically unlimited at this current time. So I can throw as much in here as I want, and everything I throw in here I can get back, but you can only access it when you're in Port Tesler. As soon as you leave it, it's gone. You can no longer see it, not until you come back to it later on. This goes for the same thing with ships, different little outposts and stuff like that. It's all the same. If you're there, you can access it. Once when you leave, it's kind of gone. So let's say I want this PR, or this, yeah, P4 AR rifle. And, you know, I don't want to store it because this thing's too big. It won't fit in my backpack or on my legs or anything. There's two ways to do it. Oh, where did that go? Did it just disappear on me? I've seen that happen before. There it is. All right. So let's say I want this on me. There's two ways. You can drag this and place it right here. That will go ahead and get it onto your backpack. Or if you just double click, so let's say you have a free spot. If you double click, it'll automatically take it and put it in a place that you can see. Now to move your character around, just hold the right mouse button and kind of spin. And then left mouse button is for selecting things. So, you know, I want to take a look at that, or I want to look at that. And you could then drag all this over to here, and that would take everything off. Same thing with, you know, the gear. That's like a quick way to take everything off. You drag it, it would unload all of it. But we're just going to keep it there. Okay, so that is the basics of kind of just getting a weapon on and, you know, getting other few things. So there are some things that you need to realize. This is a survival game, and sometimes you have to eat and you have to drink. In order to eat and drink, one thing that took me a little bit to figure out is you have to take your helmet off. So you can take your helmet off, and then once when you get food, which I'll probably go over getting food in another video, but you could then put this and go, you know, I want to eat. Oh, you know, that actually might be bad. Is this gonna work for me? Alright, so the server might be having some issues. Again, this is Star Citizen. We will definitely have some glitches. This happens sometimes where it's like, you know what, you're trying to eat and it won't let you eat. Let's see if kind of reloading it will work. Are you gonna go? No? Alright. So normally you'd right click eat, it would go in his hand, left click, and you could eat the hot dog and do all that fun stuff. Alright, so, but yes, if you want to eat, you have to take off your helmet. Taking on your helmet's just as easy as that. So dragging it from your backpack or your local, placing it on your head, or double clicking it, that will put it on. Transferring items between local and personal is just a drag. Unfortunately, there is no quick click. You have to drag one at a time out of your inventory. You have your filters here that you can sort through everything. So if you come into something and let's say it's all like blank, and it's like, man, you know, I have a lot more stuff than that. Where is all of my things? It's probably the filters have something selected. So just go into filters, and then if you click on what you want to see and then click on it again, it'll show everything that you have in that storage. So kind of cool little trick. It's the same thing for this stuff in here. So if you had this selected, you're like, dude, I know I had like a hamburger or a hot dog in here. Like, oh, my clothing is selected. And then you could click that again, and now everything is shown. So kind of a cool little trick. All right, so that's looking at your inventory. Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, you're gonna have kind of your, what we'll call it like the Moby glass. This is where everything is kind of looked at. So if you want to get contracts, so you know, missions, you want to take a look at the universe and fly to a different area. It's all done in your Moby glass, which is your F1 button. So you hit F1, that pops open Moby glass. Your first one is going to be your comm link. So, you know, I want to talk to people. I want to talk to the port in order to land, and we'll go over that here in a little bit. Maybe have some pending friend requests. That's all done here in the comm link. Then you have your vehicle loadout manager. This is where you can select things that you want loaded into your ship. I'm still learning this aspect of it, so I'm not going to go over it because I am no expert. There are other videos out there that go into great explanation of how this works. I would suggest probably checking them out. Then you have your knickknacks. So your knickknacks, this would be, let's open this up, kind of stuff that you've been around. You know, so like the emergency shelter, you know, things that are stored or something like that. I'm still learning that one as well. The main one that you're going to use, though, there's going to be two. It's going to be the skyline. So this is the universe. And if you click this little button here, it'll show you where you're currently at. If you use the mouse wheel to scroll in and out, it will kind of show you about where you're at and other things that are there. If we click on this, things will pop up. So there's this is how you can travel from area to area when you're on your ship. We'll go over that here in a little bit. I just want to show you how kind of this works. To kind of move around, if you hold the right mouse button, this will be kind of like your slide, you know, your left to right. And if you hold it and then use your left mouse button, it's kind of like your roll. So you could sit here and then roll all the way across the planet to see what's on the backside and go to a particular area. So that's how that is kind of done. You also have the contacts manager. So if you wanted to go do a job when you're first starting out, I always suggest starting with the delivery. These are pretty quick and easy. It's you're picking up a package or 3 packages, or you know, 1 package, and delivering them to another area. It all explains exactly what you need to do in here. And we'll go over that either in this video or a later video on how to kind of make money and how to do some of these contracts just for fun. If you want some good, fun, easy money, these defend occupants and a call to arms, those are really good ones to do. So the call to arms is anytime you kill somebody, you get an extra bonus. Defend occupants, you're helping out another security group defend a area. This is a real fun one, and it pays pretty good, and it's a good way to level up stuff. So that is that. But yes, this is how you get to Moby-Glass. We'll go over a few more once when we get down to our ship. So to get to our ship, let's go ahead and head down there. We'll come up here to an elevator out of our nice little habitat. We'll go into the elevator. Same thing, we'll hit the F key, and we want to go down to the lobby. Pretty much no matter where you're at, you're going to always want to go to the lobby. Now here in Port Tressler, it's really easy to get to our ship area. Basically, we want to go to a space, think of it as like the space station, the space travel dock. There's a whole bunch of different names to it. On Port Tressler, basically you come out of the habitat, you go left, you go right, and right in here is our ships, or is our main ship station. To use this, you need to come up here to the fleet manager, hit the F key, which is touch to start, you left click.
Welcome to the ASOP vehicle retrieval system.
And this is where you can get your ship. So if you just started, you're probably just going to have one ship, or if you're in the free fly, you probably have a ship. You will have your ship here, and it'll usually say stored. You'll click this retrieve button.
Vehicle selected. Stand by.
And then it'll get delivered and then sent to a hangar. And then
Vehicle has been delivered to the following location.
So now we have to go to Hangar 1. So let's head off to Hangar 1.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. So we'll come up here to an elevator, which is how you get to the hangars. And we will go in here and go to Hangar 1. So this will take us down to our ship. And if you ever like lose track of, oh man, you know, I can't remember where the heck I put my hangar. There's 2 things. Sometimes when you land, it'll tell you, hey, your ship is located at Hangar 1. Like you can see these kind of things on the screen. Or you can go back to that terminal and pull it up and it'll tell you, hey, it's stored, and it's stored at Hangar blah blah blah. And then you can just go find your hangar. Alright, so let's get into our ship. So when you're walking up, you're going to see hatches or elevators depending on what type of ship that you have. You want to come up to those. For the hangars, they'll usually be like a switch kind of towards the back, and you would hold the F key, go to that switch, and it would open up the gate or the elevator, whatever it is. For this ship, we have our hatch, and we'll come to our hatch, we hit the F key, and it'll give us a couple options. We want to enter the ship. So we'll click that. It'll automatically animate and get us into the ship. In this ship, we have a sleeping area, so we could lie down here and log out, or we have our captain's chair, I guess you can say, the pilot seat. So you come up to the pilot seat, hit F, go enter pilot seat. This will get us situated. Alright. Alright, so when you first get to a ship, I'm gonna do something. Alright, when you first get to a ship, this is usually what you're gonna see. It's gonna be dark, nothing's gonna be on. It's like, what the heck? What can I do? So when you're on this screen, you'll see like I'm trying to go left to right. I got this little like rubber band thing that's hanging on to me. This is actually how you would start controlling the ship, which we'll get to that in a little bit. What you need to do is, there's a couple things. If you hit the F key, this is like free look. So now we can freely look around. You can either kind of scan everything and try to find something that says flight ready, power on. Or what you can do is just hit the R key on your keyboard. That will automatically start everything on your ship. That'll start the engines, bring the shields up, all of that. Once you're in the ship, there are a couple different views. You can hit the F4 just like you can on your walking, and you can go into third person or back to first person. If you want to free look around, because like I'm moving the mouse and nothing's happening, if you hold the Z or Z key and then move, this is your free look around for your ship. So that way if you want to get a better view, better view of what you're doing, just hold the Z key, move your mouse around, and that's how you can kind of control that. Now let's go back into here. So now we're going to take off. This is probably the most difficult thing in Star Citizen, is your first flight. What you need to do, there's two ways to do this. What I like to do is hit, especially in this ship, is I hit the F key. And if you have this cool little comm section, you can select this. This will open up the communication to Port Tressler, so that way you can actually leave the bay. You have to do that. That's the only way you can leave. Another way to do it is hit F1. Come here to Comlink, go to Friends, in this Port Tressler, just click this little icon right here. It'll start calling it, hit F1 again.
You are clear to launch.
And it gave us the all clear, so we are free to launch now. There's also a way that you can assign that communication to a simple hotkey. So, you could just hit O, and then that would, set it to where you can automatically just request landing and request takeoff. So you have to do that same process when you're trying to land at a space station as well. Alright, so our first flight. What you'll see is, right off the bat, if you use your mouse wheel, you see over here, kind of to the left middle, this little block that's rolling up and down. This is your throttle. So this is how much jet propulsion or whatever do I want when I hit the button to go up, forward, left, and right. Anything out of the blue is considered like, okay, this is a little aggressive and you're going to be flying very quick and the ship is not going to control that well. Even at this level right here, this is going to be pretty fast. So for your first time flying, let's roll this thing back to probably about here. Not too quick, but enough to where you can still kind of control and move around until you get the feel for how Star Citizen works. Before we hit any buttons, you see this thing looking like it's a rubber band? Put that in the middle. This is your control. As soon as you go this way, the ship is going to try to go right, it's going to try to go left, it's going to try to go up, and it's going to try to go down. So if you keep it in the middle, it's going to stay level. So to first take off the ground, you're going to hit the space bar and hold the space bar. That's going to send you upwards. So I just held it for like a second, and that put us right up here. And I'm going to kind of show you. We are hovering off the ground. So that is cool. Now, what we'll do is we'll take that little rubber band, our mouse. We'll go slightly to the left. And you see, we go to the left. Bring it back to the middle, we stop. Let's go to the right. That takes us back. We stop. Go up. That takes us up. And then if we go down, that takes us down. So the more you pull, or the further you go, the quicker it's going to go. So I'm just creeping to the left. If I take it really far, it's going to really get us turning around. And we could do a full 360, bring it back, put it in the middle. All right. So to move front and back, W is going to be forward. S is going to be backwards. A is going to be strafing left. And then D is going to be strafing to the right. For roll, Q will be roll to the left. And then E will be roll to the right. So you can play around with this. Like I said, if you speed up that little block, so if we mouse roll up to here, and now I do a roll, like it's going to be a pretty quick roll because there's a lot more power that's going to those propulsions. Same thing for going frontwards and back. If I was to hit forward, it's going to try to go really fast. Now you can roll this thing like almost all the way down, just a little bit above, and you'll just slowly curve. You can do this while you move. So if I have this and then roll up, I'll start going quicker. And so it's kind of a cool way. It works really good when you're coming in for landing, you know, and all that kind of thing. So I went a little too quick and I hit the back wall. Like, oops. All right. So now that we have that and we're about ready to take off for, let's say, our first time. Like, you know what? We're going to take off and let's go fly. You know what? I think it might hurt my ship. Yeah, you see how it's kind of moving backwards on its own? That was probably because, yep, if you look in the back, I ran right into one of the jets, and I damaged the jets, so now it's not firing as good as it should be. So I need to fix that. All right, I'm gonna fix that real quick, and I'll show you guys how to do that as well. Oh, space is to go up, and control is to come down. Before I forget, so we hit control, and we will bring this all the way down to the ground. So I unfortunately damaged my ship, so I want to fix it. I'm gonna come in here into vehicle maintenance. And repair, I can click on this and it will automatically repair my ship. Get that? And so once it goes no service required, we're full. Refuel quantum. Quantum is used for fast travel. We might as well do that. I mean, didn't need to, but hey, why not? We'll do it since we're here.
Quantum fuel is at.
And then hydrogen is your main fuel. That's for everything flying. You can select this, and then that will fill up our hydrogen. Perfect. All right. So now we have a fixed ship. So now I float straight. So that's perfect. Okay, so so going up is space, coming down is control. W for forward, S for back, and then all that. Before we fly, it would probably be best if we take and put our landing gear up. So if I go into this view and come down, you'll see that our landing gear is down. If you hit the N key, that will retract and unretract your landing gear. So N again, we'll bring it down, and N, we'll put it up. So it's just nicer to have that up when you're flying, but you have to remember to put that down when you come to land. And if you notice over here, there's this gear, landing gear, it's not highlighted. That means it is up. If we hit the N, it'll flicker. That means it is coming down. And now it is down. We'll hit it again and bring it up. Alright, so let's go out and let's do a little bit of flying. So we're going to hit the W button. Like I said, I have that speed down. It'll say collision warning, but it's fine. We're doing okay. So now we are flying out of the space station. So if you want to speed it up, let's roll that mouse a little bit forward. And now we're going a little bit quicker. So you can see we're we're actually flying in space right now. Look at that. It's pretty cool. Alright. Now, once when you're in space, and you're away from...
Please visit again.
There we go, we got confirmation. We are away from processor. So now if we want to go quicker, let's roll it up here into the red. We can roll it all the way up. And we will get going pretty freaking fast. So look at that. We're flying at like 1,200 meters a second, something like that. So we're going pretty quick. And while we're flying, so I'm holding W right now. And let's say, you know what, I'm getting tired of holding W. I got a long trip. I don't want to hold W the whole time. If you come down and you hit the C button, that is cruise control. So cruise control will set the speed to wherever you have this thing rolled at. So if I roll down, it's going to slow the speed up. It's going to slow the throttle until it gets to that speed. And then I can roll it down more and go all the way to blue. And so, you know what? No, I want my cruise control set to this speed. So this is a very, very handy thing. If you're just kind of flying around and you're, you know, zooming around the planet that you're at, you can just kind of scroll it down to a nice safe speed and be able to move around. Alright, so once when we're in space, same thing, E and Q to kind of roll. If we take our mouse, we can control the ship. We can come down, we can roll, we can fly wherever the mouse is going to point us. So it's really, really cool. We can also hit F, kind of look around our ship, which is really, really cool. Now, let's say we want to get to somewhere on this planet. The nice thing with this game, you can literally just fly down. You can fly down to the planet, land anywhere that you want. But let's say we want to go to a specific place, either a place here on this planet or another planet, let's say. So if you hit the B key, this will start your quantum drive. And you'll see a whole bunch of little squares pop up, and a thing makes some noise, and you'll see a calibration thing and all that, and spooling. So let's say I want to come down to this location down here, and there is New Babbage, and I want to go to New Babbage. So you hover over it, and you're going to see this calibration here on the left. It'll go from 0 to 100 and then say ready. So I want to fly to New Babbage. So once when it's at ready, if you hold the B button, that will engage your quantum drive. So I held it, and now I let go. And now it's going to automatically take me to usually within about 15 to 20 kilometers to that location. Or if you're going to a planet, it will pop you out, you know, like 1,000 kilometers above it or something like that. But we're going to come fly down to New Babbage. Alright. So, once when it starts, or once when you get there, it'll automatically turn off. If it's still running, or so it says it turns off, but it's still kind of running in the background, just hit the B button and then that will turn it off again. So if you tap B, that's on. You tap B, that's off. And then tap B to find it, hold B, that'll take you there. You'll notice things that are red, it means it's too close, or you have to exit the atmosphere to get to it, or it will be obstructed. It's like, hey, you're gonna have to get higher or move somewhere else because you're gonna run me right into a planet or something. So the only things that you can move to are blue things. Alright, so we are heading to New Babbage. So let's roll up our speed a little bit. And what we're going to do is we want to actually come to New Babbage. So this might be an easier view here. Actually, no, easier views here. So New Babbage is this whole area here, but the spaceport is this guy back over here. So he's a little off-center to where you actually fly to. So you want to find this area that has like three little towers. This is the spaceport. So there's a way to get to like New Babbage, like clocking in or parking down below and going to a surface thing, but we are going to come here. Now, I don't know if you saw that, but I was coming down and then I quickly went like this. So you see how he turns red? Think of it as like a fighter pilot, and you're pulling too many G's. You're turning way too fast. You're banking too fast. My guy's trying to pass out. And if I do that, eventually he might pass out. So you got to be careful when you're flying, especially in planets and turning too quickly. You might accidentally pass out. So I thought that was a pretty cool feature. So we're gonna come down here, and you know what? We're getting pretty close. And if you see over on this side, there's this NB International Spaceport. We're gonna click on that, and I'm gonna go ahead and hit C to turn off cruise control so we slow up. So it said, hey, you know what? Please proceed to assigned landing bay. We don't have anything. This little triangle right here, this is actually another pilot. What it is we are not close enough. So we need to come in a little bit closer until we see this little circle and diamond in the middle of it. Or I shouldn't say diamond, a little like circle and triangle. We're getting closer. We should start seeing it any second. Let's wait for it, wait for it, wait for it. There we go. So the circle with the triangle in it, this is where we need to land. So this is going to be fun. So landing can actually be pretty entertaining. I like it. So what I like to do is coming in, keep this little block, and I go cruise control off, so I'm holding W. And I'm going to keep this just a little bit into the slight red zone. And then about right here, I'm going to take this into the blue section. Wait until I'm a little bit lower, and then let's start turning into it. And I let go of the W so we can try to get lined up. So you say I'm a little crooked. So I'm gonna hit the Q to roll myself, and then let's move in. And you know, I feel like I'm going too quick, so I'm gonna roll this down. And let's start with this one. And you can kind of use your mouse and your roll button and your strafe to kind of get you lined up to the front. Alright, now I think we are close enough. I'm going to pause here, and let's set our landing gear down. Because if we come out and we take a look, our landing gear is up. So I'm going to hit the N key, bring down the landing gear,
Landing gear deployed.
and now let's fly into here. So as we get closer, I'm going to slowly roll back the mouse wheel. And then if I feel like I'm too high, I can hit the control key. Kind of come down a little bit. Let's go in a little bit more. I'm going to slow it down even more. Even more, even more. Slightly roll. I'm still holding W, and I'm just rolling the mouse wheel back into where I feel I'm in a good spot. And let's go maybe about here. Now I'm going to release the W, let it slow up, and I'm going to hold control. We're going to come landing onto the surface.
Landing complete. Have a pleasant stay.
That's it. We have landed. Good habit to get into is once when you land and you're about to exit your ship, hit the I key.
Engines are off.
That will turn off your engines. And if you hit the I key again,
Engines are on.
it'll turn them back on. So we're going to turn off the engines. Now, what you can do is here, just like what you use to get out of bed, you're going to hold the Y key. That will turn off, kind of turn off the main power per se, and it will automatically get you out of the seat. So now, let's say we're at a surface or we're here. We're going to come up to here, hit F. We're going to exit. Or you can go to your, you know, the back of your ship, wherever you're going, however you came in, you're going to use that to leave. And we have made our way down to New Babbage. So now, let's say, you know what, we're going to hang out here for a while. I want to store my ship. I don't plan on leaving, or I want to change ships or something. So we need to leave this area. So New Babbage, if you come up here, it kind of gives you different directions. Basically, it's sending us to an elevator. Come to an elevator, hold F, call elevator. Come up here, and go to the NBIS terminal. Basically, any terminal. If you go to terminal, lobby, as long as it's not a hangar, that's going to be where you want to go. Alright. So now we're up here, and in this area, or at this location, this is the fleet manager, the hangars. So I want to store my ship. So I'm going to hold F,
Welcome
click on this.
to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
And you know what? I want to store this. So it says that it's on the pad at Hangar 6. I want to go ahead and store this. So I clicked on store. And this should eventually go to transferring. And now it's stored at New Babbage. So it's nice and safe. Don't have to worry about anything happening to it.
Bye.
And now here in New Babbage, we could roam around and take a look at everything that New Babbage has to offer. This place is huge. And I mean, it's freaking huge. But the main travel around like New Babbage and a lot of areas is going to be through like trolleys, or I'll say trolleys, but through like trains and stuff like that. So you usually have to go through customs. You got to walk out, and then we'll come up over here. We'll go ready to explore, and we're going to go to the Metro Loop. The Metro Loop is where we will go to travel around to different areas, because we're at the spaceport. There's not a whole lot to do here at the spaceport except for just getting your ship. So we're going to come back down to the Metro Loop, and this would be the opposite. So if you're just starting the game, you're going to start New Babbage, and you're going to transfer from New Babbage to the spaceport to your ship, all that. But we're going opposite. Alright, so we came out. We're here at the Metro Loop, and Aspire Grand is kind of where the habitats are. The Commons, which is over on this side, is kind of like the shop location, I guess you can say. So if we come up here, the train will be arriving in now. So look at that. That was quick. It said a minute. It was actually there way before the minute. So that worked good. So we'll just hop up on the train. This will take us to the Commons. So we're just going to hang out here and enjoy this wonderful, wonderful trip. Like I said, and I'll kind of keep quiet and let you guys enjoy this this trip to the Commons. Alright, we made it. So now we will exit.
We'll be leaving the station momentarily.
And we are here at the Commons. Sweet. Alright, so you will see this like E1 and then Commons. This little symbol in this E1, this is exit. Think of it as like exit 1. So we want to follow the exit. We're going to come up over here. And oh yeah, one thing I guess I never mentioned. If you're walking and you roll back the mouse wheel and roll forward the mouse wheel, that changes your walk speed. So let's get up here a little bit and I'll kind of show you what I mean once we get to the top. Alright, so this is with the mouse wheel all the way forward. And if we roll the mouse wheel back, we can go to a nice brisk walk. And let's roll the mouse wheel a little bit further. Got kind of like a jog going. Bring it all the way forward, we're kind of running. And if we hold shift key, now we're sprinting. So that's kind of how that works. Now here at the Commons, there's so much stuff that you can do. You can roam around, go to shops, you can go into so many locations and just play around and pretty much live like you want to, like you are a Star citizen. So it's pretty cool. There's quite a few things to interact with. There's like bars, you can get food. Like here's sandwiches. So let's say we're hungry and we want to buy something. We can come up here. And these are like 5 AUEC. So if you just hit the F key, you can go into more info or you can quick buy. It's like, you know what, let's go quick buy. Yep, I got one of those. But I can't eat it unless I take my my helmet off. So if we take the helmet off, come back in here, and then we hold left key or the left mouse button, he will go ahead and drink up all of this until it's depleted. Just continue to hold, and then once when he's done, that's it. It is done. So once we finish eating it, we can drag it to here. This will be a drop. And look at that, we dropped our trash on the floor. We're messy, but that's fine. And you can do the same thing with food. So, I think they have sandwiches. Yeah, so you got sandwiches here. You could buy a sandwich, eat it. Basically do the same thing. Hold left mouse button, that'll eat it. That'll bring up your water and your food. So I think that is the basics that you would need to know in order to get started in this game. Like I said, it is a very, very fun game. I actually have been very enjoying it. One thing you got to remember, it is glitchy. It is still in development. I would say go easy on it. It's not a standard development game. The developers are literally building the engine, everything from the ground up. Everything is custom to just this game. And I've actually have kind of done my research and actually kind of respect what they are doing. You know, it's not easy, the work that they are doing. With that being said, yes, there are some things that are going to irritate the hell out of you. You'll be flying, and something will happen, and you'll glitch and die, or you'll be fighting somebody, and they will glitch through a wall, or you'll be walking, and something will happen. There are glitches, there are issues. It is not very easy on computers, so you do have to have a decent setup to run this thing. So please keep that in mind. But if you have that and you're willing to deal with a few glitches and some of the stuff that can happen with this game, it is well worth your time, especially if you want to just be immersed in space and just feel like you are a space cadet in the good term of that. So with that, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully it was useful. I'll come out with another episode a little bit later on a few tips and tricks, so keep an eye out for that. And please comment down below if you enjoyed it. If I ramble too much, y'all know what to do. And until then, I will see you guys in the next episode. And keep it simple, alright? Take it easy, everybody. Bye.
I like to be educated, but I'm so frustrated. Hello to my lonely